Hello, and welcome to Mission Works, thanks to donors. I'm Dale Meyer. Every year, a van filled with seminarians makes the long drive from St. Louis to Mapleton, Iowa. Mapleton, Iowa. Why there? Joining us today is Mr. Gary Thies, who will share what happens it doesn't even happen in the town of Mapleton. We go beyond Mapleton to a set of farm buildings in the middle of nowhere, as Gary likes to call it. Gary, welcome. And what is in the middle of nowhere?
Well, Dale, I want to share with you, Mission Central is a miracle place. It's a regional mission center where people come from all over to hear the message of the Lord's missionaries that have been called throughout the world. So rather than trying to get to these families that are praying and supporting missionaries, this is a regional center where they come to learn of what the Lord is doing in his mission field.
Tell us a little bit more about your personal passion. What is it that makes Gary get up every day and work 7 days a week?
Well, I want to share with you the reason we can do this. It's the most important thing in the whole world. And God calls all of us with the different gifts that we have. This is an excellent program to thank our donors because you see, donors are members of the body of Christ. We couldn't have pastors trained at Concordia Seminary. We couldn't have pastors called to go to the missionary were it not for God calling special people at just the right time. An elderly gentleman told me, he said, Gary, I got the easy part. All I got to do is just sign the check. I said, you're just as important as the missionary going to the field. You're helping the young man going to the seminary. You're a member of the body of Christ because without our donors, we could not carry out our ministry. You're just as important as those people.
How many missionaries are you, on behalf of the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod, supporting throughout the world?
We're supporting about 115 of our missionaries. We're involved in all of the missionaries that are called by the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. We've kept our focus on missionaries called by our church. I love our church and what we teach because God is using our church to call missionaries. Those are the ones we want to help.
You must have a big staff.
We've got over 100 volunteers and none of them get paid. We have pilots that donate their plane. We have ladies that do the cooking. We have carpenters and electricians, and we have all different kinds of people that God has called to help us, and none of them get paid.
That's amazing. And I've been to Mission Central any number of times. You have groups that come to Mission Central, thousands a year. Tell us what happens when our Concordia seminarians come to these farm buildings east of Mapleton.
Well, what we try to do is to give the seminarians a taste of small town ministry. The majority of our congregations are very small, and many of them are in rural areas. This gives them an opportunity to see what farmers do, how they operate, why they make a living and how they make a living. And it's a great, great opportunity to give them a taste of the culture that made our country great.
Every graduate of the seminary goes into a cross-cultural setting. I don't care if you're going to Iowa, Southern Illinois, or Chicago, New York, the big city. Every place a graduate goes is cross-cultural. And so the trip to Mapleton, Iowa, Mission Central is instructive to the students because they understand, if they didn't know it or feel it before, that there is one thing that crosses culture, and that's Jesus. Some years ago, I was not able to join the Mission Central trip. When the students came back, they would see me on the campus and say, "Hey, you're not normal." What are they talking about, Gary? What does that
Well,
mean? Not normal.
what we have going on in this country right now, Dale, is a dumbing down of people that they want everyone to be normal. And to be quite truthful, Ephesians 2:10 tells us that God has a plan prepared in advance for your seminary students and for all of us in our life. But we have to be people of 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9, that says in the King James Version, we're to be a peculiar people. People should look at you as I have all these years, Dale, and knew that you were not normal. You're different. And that's the way we should be as Christians. People should look at us and know that Jesus lives in our hearts.
Thank you, Gary. A very quick question. Tell us about the boss.
Our boss, his picture's right above my desk. He reminds me every day who I work for. I do not work for the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. I work direct. And so do you, Dale, because it'll come as a shock to some of you. But God isn't going to ask us if we're Lutheran when he calls us home. There will be no Lutherans in heaven. There will be no Catholics in heaven. There will be no Methodists in heaven. It'll be people who have Jesus in their heart. And our largest supporter of all of our missionaries is not a member of the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod.
This is an amazing story that you tell, but I need to wrap it up. I want to thank everybody who has joined us today. Mission Central funds the mission work of our Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. And your donations to Concordia Seminary make it possible for our students to catch the vision of mission, the passion to tell all people about Jesus. And that's exactly what Gary has shared with us so energetically. Thanks to all of you. Mission works thanks to donors.